Hello Macau, hello world, and hello internet. I am Ruben, and I am here at the opulent Vita Rica Bar and Restaurant in the magnificent Mandarin Oriental Macau with Cecilia Jost of Tony Jost Winery. How do you do, Cecilia?
Great.
A great pleasure to meet you.
It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you for taking time to speak with me. I've got some questions. First of all, your name is Jost. Your winery's name is Jost. You're not Tony. Who was Tony?
Certainly not. Tony was my grandfather.
Oh.
He was not the guy who started winery Tony Jost. It's been starting a few years before. We are 180 years old. So clocks are a little bit different in German than in the other parts of the world. But we are quite happy to have a long tradition of winemaking. And Tony Jost, my grandfather, was the first guy who really steps on for the very best vineyards and who's really started with a high quality work from what we are participating today on.
So your vines are what we consider Grand Cru in the French appellation. They're Grosse Lager or Grosse Gewächs.
Yes. We produce Großes Gewächs from our famous vineyard site Bacher Hahn, which is our monopoly, and from the Wallofer Walkenberg. So these are the most important vineyards to us, where we like to show the terroir of the soil.
Can you say those two names again?
Yeah, the names are Bacher Hahn. This is our main vineyard at Bacher. Hahn means rooster, so that's why you see the rooster all over our labels.
Okay.
And the other one is Wallofer Walkenberg. This is not exactly a vineyard from Tony Jost, but from Maria, his wife, my grandmother, who is now 101 and still enjoying the wine. So drink wine, it will keep you long living.
I know that to be true. You produce mainly Riesling, but some Pinot Noir. Now, what percentage do you produce?
I do produce 85% Riesling
85%.
and 15% Pinot Noir.
On the same soil, the same vineyards?
We use the same soil, we use the same vineyards, because on the top soil in our cool climate area, it's perfect for Riesling and for Pinot Noir.
What is your philosophy on winemaking? Do you have a different philosophy for Pinot and for Riesling, or is it the same?
It is the same. I want you to taste exactly the soil, the slate, the terroir this wine is growing on. And therefore Riesling and Pinot Noir are great, because those are the two varieties which bring most of the soil into the wine.
Well, your wines are, especially the Rieslings, are famous for being quite fruity. So I would expect wine grown on strictly slate soil would be very mineral.
And they are, but depending on the vineyard side, is it more close to the Rhine River, is it further away to the valley, it's variations. So this is the perfect thing about Riesling. It might be just 200 meters away from the Rhine River, and so it becomes quite mineral. If it's close to the Rhine River, it is very tropical, very fruity. So that's perfect to show the different phases of Riesling on the same soil and pretty much on the same vineyard, but just it's 200 meters, which makes the difference here as well.
How many Rieslings do you produce?
I produce about 20 Rieslings, 20 different Rieslings. Mainly dry, so if you really like to show the terroir, show the style of the wine, in my opinion it needs to be dry. Maybe not bone dry, but to have it perfectly together with food. Too sweet would be great wine, but what I would like to show is more this dry style as well.
Now, what sort of winemaking techniques do you use in the cellar when you're actually producing the wine, making the wine? What do you use? Carbolic maceration or
I know
malolactic?
I know this word winemaking is the international word for working in the cellar, for producing wine, but for a German it sounds terrible because we are not making wine. My philosophy is to let the wine grow in the vineyard, so all my work I put in is in the vineyard. It's beautiful because you have sunlight most of the time, you have a clear blue sky above you, you have the sun, you have exercise at the fresh air, that's beautiful, and the cellar is dark and cold and wet. So I try to do everything what I can in the vineyard, so that I in the cellar just have to monitor, to press, to pump, and to clean. And
Recently, I saw photographs of your vineyards, and you've got like GPS units predicting the soil depth or the depth to which they have to be planted. How often do you replant, and what's the average age of the vines? When do they start to produce good wine?
Okay, well actually we will plant a new field in 1 week. So what I do there is, of course before that I monitor the soil, I check what pH the soil has, how many loam is there and how many clay and what kind of rootstock I do need. And as soon as I know this all, I plant my soils, which will be next week. fruit. Then it will take about 3 years nurturing time until the wine is strong enough to produce really grapes.
So you don't even harvest for the first 3 or 4 years?
No. We couldn't. Well, we could, but then the wine would die because it would put too many effort in producing grapes and not producing roots. So at first there had to be a good rootstock. If you're building a house, you're starting with the basement, not with the attic. We let deep roots grow, and then after 3 years, when we start to have some kind of root, we are starting to produce grapes. For the first 20 to 30 years, there is coming a good basic quality out of it, but nothing more. If we are going to this Grand Cru, to the Großes Gewächs, to the very best high-end production, it needs 30 years, and then we can talk about a serious Riesling. And so I have about 1/3 of my wines between 0 and 25 years, 1/3 between 25 and 40 years, and 1/3 above 40 years. So this is what I'm trying to, what I got from my grandfather, what I got from my father. Today I still have vineyards from my grandfather who were planted 50 years ago, which I now participate in the very good quality. And what I'm now planting is for my children and maybe my grandchildren.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for taking time to speak with us.
Welcome.
A pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to